beginnings of the farming, because now we can clearly see that it began from humble beginnings.
Yeah.
How did you then now transition to fully making the decision of letting go of the computer engineering and pursuing this thing with everything that you had?
So I think it was being honest to myself. Like the time that I was doing IT in Zambia, it wasn't appreciated. Then I was looking for a line where I can be of more use and something that I can be able to touch many lives and be able to help many people and have resources to hasten the coming of Jesus. So that is what I was looking for. And agriculture became the number one thing that I actually could work out very well and I was very passionate about. And I saw the results. So though it being an industry where many people have failed, when I was starting I had a lot of ridicule from people that have been in that industry for a long period of time that no, you can't make it and all those things. But me, I made it very clear from the onset. Before I even left Riverside, there's a post that I did in 2018. Wallace at Riverside, I said, I am going to be the best farmer in Zambia. Wow. Like, I think
it wasn't coming from pride or anything. It was
no, it's whereby you set a goal that you don't fully understand. You say words that you don't know the size. People are very excited, but I don't think it's whereby you're just threatening people. but actually it came to be fulfilled. So I think there's also a power in the words that we tell ourselves. Sometimes we underlook ourselves, and to a point whereby we out of the heart, out of the what? Out of the issues of what? Life. So I think that what we say about ourselves becomes or eventually be fulfilled, whether good or evil, but not in a proud manner, but in a humble manner. What we say about ourselves actually is very important. So, what was the question?
The question is, how did you make that decision of pursuing farming with everything that you had? Yeah.
So what I was saying is, you see, it is something that I saw that it would really help me live a better life, a happier life, a life in line with my beliefs and the knowledge that I knew, and also it is a life that I would use to bless others and also be able to show an example to others that actually this is the best life. And also it was something that was in harmony with God's word, in line with the country living message, that I have to go to the farm, establish before I get old, so that actually by the time I'll be old, I would have already known how to live on a farm. Yes.
So now, usually people, when they become successful in something, they usually say, no, I start from humble beginnings, but they never tell us what those humble beginnings were. I'm interested to know, what were your humble beginnings? What are the challenges that you faced when starting out as a farmer, as the best farmer, as you said, in Zambia? What challenges did you face?
Number one, I would say, from the first point of view is, when I started, there was no support from the people that knew me. People were laughing at me. So whenever you make a decision that is different from the common way people think, people won't support you. And actually that is fine. Like me, when you don't support me, then I have a point to prove. Then secondly, I didn't have enough finances. But I don't know what kept me going. I had faith that things are going to work out. Then I used to share the knowledge that I had. So from the financial point of view, I went to the director for Riverside, I asked for money. He said no, at the moment he didn't have. Then one of the guys there, the president for OCI, his name is Kim. When we were working, we were good friends. He gave me 10,000. So I used that to drill a bore. Then there is a stranger, his name is Denver Black from America. So he used to follow me on what I write on Facebook. Then one day, I don't know what I wrote about, you see, there's no one who's going to come and solve your problems. Apart from God. You have to work hard to fight your own battles. So that man wrote an inbox to me and told me, how can I help you? So I knew that he wanted to help me with money, but I didn't ask for money. I said, you see, me, in this, I didn't tell him that I want money. So I showed him the picture of what I wanted to achieve. Then he saw how big it was. Then he said, okay, what do you need now? So the first thing that I said, see, where I'm going, I don't have transport. If you can help me with a bicycle, I'll be very happy. So he sent me money for the bicycle. And the following Friday, I went to buy the bicycle and I sent him a receipt. No, I bought this bicycle for 2,500. You gave me 3,000. and here is 500 kwacha. Should I send it back or I should keep it? Then he said, no, it's okay, you can keep it.
Wow.
Then eventually...
So let me just highlight this. Integrity plays a huge part when you're starting something.
Yes.
You need to maintain your integrity. Faithfulness to yourself, faithfulness to God.
Yeah, very true. So, and actually that opened up doors. You find that when I had a challenge, like he gave me amount of money up to about 56,000. Then
US dollars?
No, Zambian kwacha. In Rand is actually around that very much. Okay. So, but it was given in phases. He's someone whereby we have never met, we don't know each other, but when I have got a problem, I would call him and he would help me.
Wow.
So then eventually, as we moved on, we moved to a farm. I would, if you check on my page, Radical Farm, you find that I used to move with a bicycle from where we are, very rocky place, to the third road delivering plants. So how I used to deliver the plants, you see, I've got many things to share.
No, please share.
So what would happen is when we're delivering, I had seedlings at Riverside. Then I moved them to the roadside.
So this time you're still staying at Riverside?
Yeah, this time I was staying. I was actually, by the time he helped me, I was leaving. Mm-hmm. So when I got the seedlings, I didn't have transport for delivery because I used to take them to Osaka. That's where the customers are. So I would advertise online. Then people make orders. Then I deliver. Then they pay upon collection. Mm-hmm. So what I would do is I didn't have enough money to hire a vehicle to come and pick them up. So there is one bus driver. I don't know if you call them combis, eh?
Taxis.
So taxis, those buses, the highest buses. So what that guy used to do is before he starts picking people on the road, like in Zambia, you don't pay before you are picked. Like you stand by the roadside, then they come and pick you, then you go. So what we do is around 5, he would come and pick me. We load the plants under the vehicle. Then as we are going to town, he's picking people on the way, then he drops me. So I used to deliver once a week. So I'd ride from there, we do like that. Then I don't know who recommended me to an organization in Zambia that works with farmers. So we had just moved to the farm and we were just setting up. I don't know why even, there's just a way God sometimes works out. I had faith that things are going to work out, but I don't know how they're going to work out. So we're doing our level best in terms of working. No, like I work very hard. We're working, preparing things and everything. So I had all the pictures of what things are going to turn out to be in my head. People were laughing at me. People, they look at the land, it was stony, they say, no, what can you do with this stony land? So they couldn't see what actually, even the people that showed me the land were laughing at me. So no, we gonga. I don't know if you know, we gonga in here, what you call it, when you sold someone something which is fake. What do you call it?
Please tell us.
Yeah, scam, that is English.
Bootleg.
Huh?
Bootleg.
Oh, whatever. So
it's majat, as in Caton would say. It's majat.
So they say they majatted me. So what happened is, and right now they are crying. They are saying, no, we wish we charged him more because look at what he has been able to do with this land.
Wow.
So what happened is
this is the rocky land that you
rocky land. Right now it's paradise. There are people that were.
I think there's an account in when they're looking for, is it Avondale? That they're looking for in the medicine, where it was just rocks, and they said this is the land that you need to purchase. Yes. Brother David?
It wasn't a scam, it was God.
Yeah.
No one thinks it was a scam, but...
No, that's what they are telling me, that we scammed him. So, but right now they are saying we wish to charge him, so we charge him more. So the director for Riverside came to visit me, and he didn't say anything. And right now he's saying, actually, that day when I came, if I was the one given this land, I was going to cry, because there's absolutely nothing that I can do with this piece of land. So what happened is when we got that piece of land, so it would move slowly. Then there's an organization that came in. So there's a young man who is doing something in agriculture. He writes, he shares a lot. It is better you go and see him. So they called me. I didn't know who they called me. I said, no, we want to help you in one or the other. I said, no, so if you want to help me, I don't think it's right for me to follow you in town. Where you have to help is here. So you have to follow me here and see what we are doing. But I didn't know that it was actually a very big organization. And I'm glad that I didn't know, because if I knew, I was going to paint a different picture. So when they came, I took them to the farm. They were very impressed. The company was not registered. There was absolutely nothing that was on paper. They said, actually, what are your challenges? They said, no, we have a problem with the delivery van and the greenhouse and all these things. I said, okay. Then as we were talking, they said, no, how do you help people? Do you help them with second-hand vehicles? No, we buy brand new vehicles. The company was not registered. So they went, collected the information. Then it is hard to get money from those people. Extremely very hard. So now they called me and started telling me what I'm supposed to do. No, register the company, prepare this, prepare this, prepare this. They would sit in meetings and they're debating, no, this boy is just too small. We give him this money, he's going to choke it. He's going to choke him. Now, little did I know that actually God sends agents in these meetings that people see. I didn't know that there were battles. Now they are revealing to me now that this is actually, it was tense. So people that I don't know supported us and they gave us a grant of 700,000. They bought us a brand new Isuzu vehicle.
Was this with any like attachments, like for lack of better words, was any conditions? Thank you.
No. There were no conditions.
Let's do whatever you
here,
need to do.
Use it the way you want. What you give to us is a report. So they would put what they wanted is reports to see that. Now here's one funny thing. They told me that for me to qualify to get the vehicle, because business was at peak during rainy season. So I said, for me to qualify to get the vehicle, I need to have a list of 200 farmers that I'm working with. So they know I'll meet that very soon. Then I already had 70. So I called them and said, we only have 70. Okay, I'm still working on this. No problem. Then they went on to get the vehicle and cleared everything, and they called me and said, no, the vehicle is ready. Where is the list of farmers? And I said, no, I told you that I'm at 70. So I said, no, you're going to put us in trouble with the donors. I said, I'm telling you the truth, I don't want to lie. They said, okay, since this is the case and we cannot go and tell them that this guy has not made the wati, because as we told them that he has already made the numbers.
So these guys were on your side?
They were on my side. No, listen, the way it is like this. So they told me for them to get the vehicle ready for me, I'm supposed to present 200 farmers. But I tell them I only had 70. But they went on thinking that I've already met the what? The number.
Yes.
So when it was time to get it, they asked me, where is the number of farmers? I said, no, this is the number I told you I have. Then now they couldn't go back and start reversing things because I had not yet met the criteria. So now they told me, since this is the case, we'll trust you that you're going to find the what? The number. And the vehicle came at the right time. And now the funny thing is, I didn't actually believe that the vehicle was going to be coming, because you see, it was costing 600,000. I said, now I didn't have the brand new. So now I didn't have a driver's license, everything. So I had to hire a driver to go and pick it up, brand new with papers and everything. So what am I saying? God actually came in and supplied when we needed money. He came in, and trust me, there is a time during the COVID era when business was very tough. We couldn't meet the clients, we couldn't supply. Someone from Congo that I don't know bought plants for 107,000, sent money to a stranger, me, whom he has never met, and I deliver the plants. And that money we use it for the whole year, even to pay the insurance for the vehicle and all those things. So what am I saying? Whenever we're doing God's work and we are true to Him, the motive is clean, and we are doing our level best. Listen, there's a part for prayer, there's a part for working. But in many cases, as missionaries especially, we don't balance this up. We can pray, we can have powerful knowledge, we can have devotions and all this, but we don't want to work. That is what I think is actually delaying the coming of Jesus. We are going to be preaching, our shoes are going to finish, our Bibles will be flipping. He's not going to come because we don't have enough resources. So, and I've seen, you see, when we avail ourselves to work for Him, we are dedicated and we're working very hard, because Christ Himself says, I must work the work of Him who sent me while it was day. While it is day. The night comes when no man can work. And I think that approach has really helped us, whereby we are doing our part and God is also doing His part faithfully. And I've seen the hand of God in what we are doing more than 100%.
Wow. Oh, I'm so inspired by that. So how did your wife then get on board with this decision? Because initially she was not interested in farming. What happened? So
what happened is, see, when we are moving to the farm, she suggested that we shouldn't go to the farm. She said, no, we should start renting in a nearby city. I told her, saying, I'm not changing an inch. the decision is set, we are going to the farm. So if things are not yet set, I'll take you to my parents' place. When things are okay, I'll come and get you. So I think this is an advice to men. As a man, you are a leader. You shouldn't be a tyrant, but there are certain things that women cannot see clearly, and you have to prove that you are leading the right way. It may be contrary to their wish and all those things, but based on biblical principles, a man should be able to see the future more clear than a woman. I don't know, but I'm not saying women can't see. But there are certain things that women can't see that men can be able to see very clear, because God made us to complement each other. So if I had followed the advice of my wife, I wasn't going to be here today. We would have stayed there in harmony with the advice of the society and all those things. People say, no, you are too young to go to the farm. You're going to get old fast. I don't know if location can make you old, but I don't know. But I insisted because I was convicted, I was convinced, and I knew that this thing is going to work out. We had a lot of discouragement, but that didn't discourage us because we've got more to fear from within than from without. Sure. And also, I don't know, many things I didn't hear them, I'm hearing them now. I had few friends. I made sure that all the negative people were out of my way. So, and when they tell me negative, I would backfire them with positivity. Now, you'll be shocked. So they stopped telling me, but they would come behind my wife and discourage her, no, don't go to the farm, this guy is going to make you stuff and all those things. But you see, there's the way things turn around, and those that were actually laughing at me now, they are the ones who are suffering. Me, I'm enjoying. You get the point? Yeah. So I'm enjoying. Right now, I'm enjoying. Like it has really worked out so well. I've appeared on TV several times. I've been in the newspaper. I've been in magazines.
Yeah. Before, I just wanted to ask you that question now. Maybe you can give us a broader idea of what are the milestones now that you can look back to and say, hey, truly God has been leading. What is this farming thing? Where is it gotten you to?
Okay. So what it has gotten me to is, number one, I would say it has changed the way people are looking at our family, because we've been a very poor family, not known anywhere. Like right now, my father is very happy where he moves around friends. He's talking about me, say, have you seen my son? That, and some people even doubt that he's my father. But he said, no, that one is my son. So just that, I think it honors my parents. Then secondly, I've been able to help so many families learn about farming. Like right now our page we reach up to 1.3 million people on a monthly basis using Facebook. And we've helped more than 2,000 farmers in Zambia. Then also we've inspired a lot of young people, and different churches have come to learn about farming at our place. Like last year alone, we trained more than 1,000 farmers about organic farming. Because our approach right now is to decentralize food production. So what we want is each and every household should be able to grow their own food. So I've been promoting small household production of food. You find people just have empty places and all those things. So our target is the people that are in town to be able to produce their own vegetables, their own fruits. So there are these fruits that fruit fast within a space. Then those that are going to the farm, they need guidance. So we give mentorship, we give consultancy to guide people so that they can save a lot of money. To us, it's a ministry. And then there are other different children that are coming to learn from us. And Farm 7 is like run by young people, so that youths can also be interested in agriculture. But at the same time also is preaching the healthy message, because you see, you cannot be, you don't fully qualify to talk about the health message when you don't produce food. Because most of the food that we eat is unhealthy and is malnourished. Like if we were to go into the chemistry of food, many of the foods that we eat as vegetarians, you find that they're malnourished. That's why you find vegetarians are suffering from the disease that other people are suffering because of the way the food is grown. So organic food is whereby you grow food that is nutritional dense, contains all the nutrients, even by far better than the people that are actually eating meat. No wonder I find it, people that eat meat mock those that don't eat meat, because you are suffering the same diseases we are suffering. Why are you troubling yourself? But the root cause is the kind of food that we eat. Because organic, like being a health reformer is not just not eating meat. It's eating the right kind of vegetables, the right kind of fruits, the right kind of legumes and everything. So if you don't produce this, then you can be talking about, but to a certain degree you don't qualify, because what is that which is better you are bringing on the table? You see? So now when I say, okay, we need more people that are going to be growing healthy organic food. And since it is cheaper, like we teach people how to make fertilizer, how to make pesticides, how to use heroin seeds. So what happens when there are more people that are producing organic food? Eventually, these people start taking their food to the markets. And when they start taking their food to the market, then the market is going to be dominated by organic food. Because I believe in working from the ground to the what? To the top. The people on the ground, they are the ones that are producing the food. So you can't control it from the government point of view on how to control the food industry and seed industry. But when you work with it from the ground, going up, because the people that actually in buying the seeds, the fertilizers, the chemicals, it is the farmers. When the farmers find something that is more economical and more environmental friendly, they'll buy into that one. Then they'll stop buying the fertilizer and all those things. So it's whereby we've come up with a solution that doesn't just solve the economical problem, but it also solves the healthy problem. Yes.
Wow. So what are the milestones? You mentioned something that you on television for this, and I heard somewhere that even professional people that are educated in farming are coming to you, just a mere layman who self-taught, right?
Yeah.
How is it that people that are educated in these things are coming to you and asking you for advice? What are some of those highlights that you can give us?
Okay, so number one is in terms of advertising, the newspapers, on the TV, on the radio, I've never paid a single day. They call me. So there are two things. There is extrinsic value and intrinsic value. So when you add value to your life and you're sharing with others, by sharing, you open up a door to show the world that actually you have something to offer. The organization that came to help us is because we opened up to give what we had. You don't have to worry about giving big, you just give what you have, that's all. So I gave what I had and it came in. So now, that opened the door whereby I could appear in the magazine. So, and also in the space of 3 years, we're given 5 awards as being the best organic farm out there. So now, these are national awards. Like the whole lot of Zambia, that is 18 million Zambians. So there's only one radical farm, the whole Zambia. So and you see, we have like dominated the organic sector. And you find that actually we have more influence. When I speak, like newspapers call me when they want to write something about organic farming, they call me, they ask me questions. Then University of Zambia, which is the biggest university in Zambia, I had professors call me and ask me technical questions about farming, the science and all those things. Then I would reluctantly answer them, not knowing that I'm giving them correct answers. It's because farming has become like part of me. I breathe farming, I live farming. Sometimes I even brag that even when I'm asleep, you ask me any question about organic farming, I'll still be able to give you a correct answer. So it's because I do it on a daily basis. I study and I'm exposed to what they have just been reading about. I have pharmacologists, pharmacists, whereby we sit down and we are talking, because I made a machine that actually extracts essential oils. So we sit down, they are talking about pharmacognos, they are talking about the plants and the extraction methods. They have read them, I have made a machine that I'm able to make. So even when we are talking, there is this kind of authority that I have because I'm more practical. And you see, I've come to learn that actually, like, to be honest, I'm not the most knowledgeable farmer in Zambia. But when you share and you are practical, you become a force to reckon with. Because people can't argue with reality. So when they come to me, say, no, this doesn't work. Recently, I had an agronomist come from America. He visited Farm 7, and another one from Australia. So
Farm 7 is your farm?
Farm 7, yes, is the farm. So I will tell you about Farm 7.
Right.
So he visits and he's checking my soil. He's very shocked to find the fungus on the ground. He says, I have been struggling to make this. How did you make it?
Sure.
Now, it is very simple. You know, when you work with nature, you get to learn things from the core. So, like me, just by looking at a plant, like right now, in terms of propagating seedling, there is only one plant that I cannot propagate. when I mean propagate is bring it into existence, or maybe put it in a potting. There's only one plant. Would you guess the plant?
I have no clue.
Is there anyone who can guess the plant that I can fail to propagate? A plant that doesn't exist. Any plant that exists. Any plant that exists. Any plant that exists can be propagated. Just by looking at a plant, I can tell you exactly how to propagate it. Now, this is not what I learned from books. It's what I've learned by doing.
From nature.
Yes, from nature.
So you can create your own plant. Is that what you're saying?
No. Like from the plants that exist, if you, let's say for example, you want that plant. How do you bring another one into existence? That's what I mean.
Okay.
Yes.
That's powerful. Yeah. So this American agronomist, he wanted to do these things and he couldn't.
No, he wants to do it, but he struggles. You get it? Because it is very easy using unnatural things to do that, but you see, when you're using nature, there's the way nature comes in and harmonizes with you. Like to me, the standard of organic farming, God is the biggest organic farmer. So the way he does things, that's actually, I learned from his book, which is Nature, how to do it the right way. The world has got its own way of doing things, but I've learned that actually God is the best. And when you learn from the best, trust me, you succeed.
I remember that verse that says the foolish things of the world, God uses the foolish things to confound the wise, and it seems like that's exactly what you're doing. Someone that has the theoretical knowledge of these things, but you have the practical knowledge of the lesson book of nature that God has given to all humanity, and it seems like it's working even more than the education of this world. Wow, my mind is baffled right now as we're speaking. So these are the milestones that God has just shown you that this way is the right way. And I'm guessing that you are motivated to do these things by what spirit or prophecy in the Bible just had to give.
Yes.
This is where you got your knowledge.
Yes.
Wow. Now, please tell us, who is radical farmer? There's Abel. We heard about Abel. Who is radical farmer, or what is the radical farmer? What is that? Because I believe that is like your brand.
Okay. So radical farmer is an individual who is doing extraordinary farming using ordinary ways. So he's someone who has taken a different approach in farming, believing that farming is a profession, is an art, and actually it's the best profession of all professions. There is nothing that can be compared to farming. We can live without these other professions, but we can't live without farming, because we had a meal here, and if you think farming is a joke, just tell Mr. Msenga one day to remove one meal, then you'll see how people react when there's no food. So the point is, farming is actually the best profession. So I'm a farmer who practices organic farming, but in a very different way. So our approach to farming is, you see, we have come up with our own setup whereby we have our own seed bank. We have our own fertilizer section where we grow fertilizer and make fertilizer. We grow pesticides and make our own pesticide. Then we also irrigate our plants using natural means that are variable, like gravity. You talk about solar systems, and also we talk about mulch, retaining moisture, intercropping with herbs to repel pests, using cover crops to rejuvenate the soil and also make compost that is rich. So there is a certain way of doing everything to secure the best results. So the radical farmer is the one who is pioneering that, to make sure that people have access to healthy food. They can grow food with less means that are within their reach. You don't have to export certain things always. You can just export the mother plants, and from there now you keep on growing from there. Yes.
So now, through Radical Farmer as the brand, how do you plan on, or how are you reaching the world? How are you giving the knowledge of God? How are you revealing Christ to the world through this method? Please tell me about that.
So if you look at Christ's method of evangelism in ministry of healing, like Christ went where the people were. He let me give a quiz to the students. What's Christ's method of evangelism? Speak loud. Don't be ashamed of the gospel. Okay.
Minister of Healing 143.
Christ's method alone will bring true success.
Uh-huh.
Christ will mingle with people as one who desire their own good. One, their confidence, and great economy. That's summarized.
So, but the point is, you see, you mingle with the people, you go where they are. So, like right now, people are on Facebook. So I go and talk on Facebook. I mingle with them, comment with them. Then I win their confidence. After winning their confidence, I help them with their problems. They come to the farm or maybe right there online. Then after that, I beat them. Like eventually, they come to learn my principles. Then on my page, I share about the gospel. We sing music with my wife and my family. Like I'm sharing, what I'm preaching to them is my lifestyle. You get the point, right? So I'm using my lifestyle where it's okay, you have to go to the farm. This is what you can do when you're at the farm. You have to be faithful to your wife because when you've got too many wives, you squander your capital. You don't have to be drunk because when you're drunk, your workers are going to steal from you. So I coin different things. Then I also put the Bible that you see, like every Friday, Saturdays, I write something in relation to the Bible. If you check through, you see, like evangelism is not just about preaching Jesus, it's about living a life of Jesus. So to me, that is how I'm evangelizing people. My lifestyle to be in others, so that when the evangelists go on the ground, they are just finishing what we already started. And at the same time, also growing healthy food, preparing people mentally, so that when the evangelists and the pastors preach, the message will be understood by the people because their brains are clean, they are fresh, they can understand the truth, they are not drunk and all those things.
Wow, that's powerful. Now, I want you to tell the audience also your motivation from the Bible as to how you began to become this radical farmer, the best farmer in Zambia, based on what you told me earlier on about Joseph, Daniel, and those things. It was quite inspiring. Please share that.
So, I think God is not a God of mediocrity. Our God is a God of excellence. So, if you look at how things are in nature, they are perfect. And when God creating things, he said, no, it is good. Now, let's remove God out of the picture. When you look at the examples that he gave us, I would look at how Joseph managed to rise from humble beginnings with being homeschooled and came to be the best. So I would study the life of Joseph, that he learned a lot by observation and also applying the principles. And he saved people through agriculture. You see, people were saved in Egypt and other nations through what Joseph did. I said, no, I want to be a Joseph. Then in terms of intelligence, I would look at Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. I see, these guys were not number 2 or number 3. They were actually 10 times better than anyone else on the planet during that time. So I say, okay. And when I read in the book of education on the lives of great men, at the conclusion, Ellen White says, actually, God is looking for youths that he can use like the way he used Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and also Joseph. I said, no, Lord, here I am. Send me. Not even when I was called to pure light, I said, Lord, here I am. Send me. I'm ready to go. So what am I saying? When you avail yourself and you add excellency, diligence, commitment, consistency, you find that it is easier. There is too much mediocrity in this world. It is easier to rise to the top when you're just committed to what you are doing. I think at the moment, there are few farmers that are influencing like globally. Like our company has moved from just being a local company to be a global company. We have got followers from as far as America, Caribbean islands, India, China, like different countries. I've got on my page, I've got atheists and all those things. Now, in the book of Daniel, the Bible talks about knowledge is going to do what? To increase. So, and technological knowledge and the tools that have been availed, we can use them to preach the gospel and also go to borders that we cannot easily cross and take the gospel.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Wow. So, as your foundation, it sounds like it's like the Bible is at the core of whatever you do. You know, there's a statement I was reading some time back. It says that as an educator, the Bible is without a rival. That's really powerful. And I'm seeing that everything that you are saying, the successes that God has led you through, is coming as a result of your faithfulness to God and studying the Word of God. That's really inspiring. You have something to say?
Yeah, yeah. So when you talk about the Bible, last year I did something that I was very happy about, and I shared it on my page. So I bought myself a mission study Bible. Who has a mission study Bible? Someone to... I'm asking for a Bible, like the whole lot of it, in a box. So I bought myself a Bible. I believe in the Bible.
Where did you get this Bible?
So it was during the Present Truth Camp, and it was by Pure Right.
Okay.
So it is from Pure Right. So now here is the thing. In my library, I've got different books. So, and the most expensive book is the Bible.
Wow.
And actually it's the book of all books, because it is one book that contains 66 books, authored by different authors in different ages, but still harmony. There's still harmony. So here's one thing. You see, if you look at science, someone can write about malaria this year, and another author writes about malaria in a different place. The same year, they are going to be contradicted. So, but the Bible was written in different ages. So this is actually the grand book in my library, and the most expensive, the most prestigious, and the book that actually I've learned quite a lot of lessons. Like right now, I'm studying the book of Proverbs. So I get my business principles. When you talk about marketing, I learn marketing from the Bible. I'll give an example. Jesus was a great marketer. When he wanted to go to Samaria, there was a boundary which was created. So now Christ wanted to sell his services there. Then he met a woman at the well and said no, he couldn't go there. They had issues there. Then what did he do? He just serviced one woman who went to preach, to market the whole city, and she brought everyone. You get a point? That is, to me, that is marketing. The same thing that also happened to Generaset when he went, that guy, the demoniac. They couldn't allow him because of what happened to the swines. But he said, no, this person wanted to follow him. They said, no, okay, I have a better service to help these people. But how do I sell my services there? He sent that, fixing that very man, and he went and sold the services of Christ. The next time Christ went there, it was a walkover. So what am I saying? The Bible contains all the principles of life that we need to live a better life. About marriage, about business, anything. Hate the Bible, you are hating your life. So there is no book that can be equal to this one. These others are just supplements, but otherwise this one is the ultimate book. And I've learned a lot from this about life, about living better with people, handling conflicts. Like, this is a master book for me. Yes.
Amen. Amen to that. As I conclude this organic conversation that we're having, your story has inspired me personally, and I'm sure everyone that is seated has been inspired, and I'm sure those that are going to watch this story are going to be inspired as well. What motivational words or what words of encouragement, what advice can you give us that are listening here, and can you also give someone that might be watching who might be interested in starting something, not necessarily farm, because I believe God gave us different interests, different gifts. What is your foundational principle for success that you'll give to someone that is out there?
So when you start out something, whatsoever you start, the motivation should not be money. I normally say, to me, money, I've got other problems, but money is not one of them. In everything that I do, money is not my motivating factor. It has never been. So if I'm by trying, in the process of servicing people, my heart loves to service, to give what I have. In the process of giving, I receive. No matter how little that I have. You see, we managed, like when we went to the farm, we didn't have a house. There was absolutely nothing. But last year we managed to build a house which costed us 500,000. And when I look back in my whole family, that's the best house that is there. And even from my wife's side, and see, how could we manage to? I haven't even believed it up to right now that this is the house that we managed to build from solely farming. So that came as a result because we have been giving the little that we have, and God has opened doors for us. So number one, when you are helping out people, you should help people without the intention of even wanting to get back. That opens a door of unlimitedness of receiving. Then secondly, in whatsoever you do, your motive should be doing what Christ did. Christ was offering services. Then sometimes as youths and as young people, we think that when we join the ministry to do the work for God, then we have sacrificed a lot. Actually, I would say there is nothing in the world compared to the satisfaction that you get when you're working for God. Just like Solomon, God will be able to give you one, wisdom, and also is going to be able to give you all the material things that you need. As in, for me, that is fulfilled. I've got if you saw my iPhone, it's iPhone 10X.
Amen.
I've got an 11th gen laptop. All these things have come from, as I service people, I come across them. I drove a very brand new vehicle, and actually this year, maybe by the end of the year or early next year, you're going to be buying another one. So what am I saying? It is possible to get everything that you want in the Lord because He has everything. And actually me, I want the best things. When I want things, I want the best. So, and God is the one who has got the what? The best. So don't think that when you join, you are doing God's work, then you are going to live a miserable life. You live the best life. You may not have the material things, but you're going to have happiness. And actually, this world to me is coming to an end sooner or later. When you hold on to things, it is going to benefit you nothing. But when you give out, you're investing in heaven. Like me, I even tell myself that, you see, as some of us, when you go to heaven, when I go to heaven, the first guy I'm going to see is Adam. I say, no, when we go back to the earth, where are we going to set up the garden? Because even in heaven, the new earth that is coming, me, I'm going to be in the farming department. And that, you evangelists, I don't know where you're going. But the point is, you see, you can live a meaningful life doing God's work, but at the same time also be able to meet all. You see, heaven starts right here on earth, and you can start your life here on earth. And lastly, you have to be very careful the partner that you choose, because the wife or the husband that you grew yourself to will affect how you do things, how you think, how your kitchen is going to be, how your children are going to be raised, and how your life is going to be. And actually, marriage has the capacity to affect your life in this world and also in the world to come. Sometimes when I err, my wife corrects me. When I don't do certain things, like she comes in, and also I'm there for her. Like right now, we agreed, no, we're going to do homeschooling. Like she's doing homeschooling for the kids. So if you marry someone who doesn't believe as you believe, you say, no, let us homeschool the children. You say, no, let's take them to preschool and all those things. Then you as a father, you live with your mind troubled. And you see, one of the worst things that you can have is torture of mind and all those things. But when you marry, and you see, when you depend on the counsels of God, those that are not married, look at how Isaac married. That very old-fashioned way of marrying, it works now. If you want peace, trust me, a woman can make your life miserable. And also your husband can make your life what? Miserable. Me, I'm married and I'm happily married. Like right now, I miss my wife like I don't know. But the point is, the partner that you choose will affect how you're going to be working with God or against God. So in conclusion, there are opportunities for everyone. All you have to do is to work with what you have within your means. Be comfortable to be uncomfortable with what the way people think about you. And also be comfortable to work with God. And also do your part. Be faithful, be diligent, have integrity, and apply the principles that you learn. And actually, I'm so humbled because I've learned something about how you people here read the Bible. There's just the way you extract context, like the way the preacher was preaching about Joshua. I've never thought about those things. And actually, as a leader, I've been persuaded to study the book of Joshua so that I can learn about leadership. I love Moses, but I think I've also loved Joshua today because of the way you learn about the Bible. I've been staying with Pastor Raho. I love the way they are living with their wife, the children, the environment. I also, like at home, I don't have TV. I was also glad that he also doesn't have TV. So I said, then there are people like me, and the food and everything, it is something that I've really enjoyed. And I'll be very happy to be part of Pure Right and see how we can further work together.
I think Pure Right will be very happy to have you on board as well. Brother Radical. I just want more. I'm just trying to get as much as I can from you since you'll be leaving us soon. Now, someone can look at the success that God has granted you and you'll think it happened overnight. And then they'll try, and then 2-3 years it does not work out, and then they give up. The waiting period, how long did it take for you to get to where you are now, and how did you keep motivating yourself when things seem to not be making any sense?
Okay, great question. So one way to get the best answers, one thing that you have to learn is you have to learn how to ask questions. So the kind of questions you ask will determine the kind of answers you get. So, and the quality of question you've given me, you get the quality answers. So, so like how it took me 7 years, up to now, 7 years now. So there is more to be done on the foundation point of view. So that is number one. So you first have to learn and build evidence. I've interacted with different business people. I've consulted with different organic farmers. I've read different books. So I had put effort. So it took me like 4 years without any notice. Whereby you're working in the background. Then when I gained the confidence, then I started sharing with others. Then when I started sharing, I realized that actually there are so many people that are struggling. So it takes a lot of time. And there are challenges which I cannot mention here. But a challenge, when a challenge comes, it's not coming to destroy you. It's coming to test whether you mean what you're doing. Then secondly, if you are a person who is determined. Because if you're not challenged then when you are challenged, when you're on top, you fall like no man's business. But if you are challenged on every phase, you are building up to the top. So that is one thing. Then number two, I'm one person who thinks ahead of my time. I don't think like today. I think like how would I want my life to be 5 years from now, 7 years from now? Then I start working on that going forward. So I don't think short term, I think long term, then start acting short term. So I have that long perspective kind of looking at life, and sometimes I would sit down and I was looking at how would I want my life to be 5 years from now. Then I work towards that goal. And I'm one person who doesn't get discouraged. Like, you know, experts are about the past, not the future. So sometimes we get discouraged by experts because they tell us this doesn't work, it doesn't work. But that is the past. There is a future to be. Even Christ, when he came, there were so many discouragements. You can't do this, you can't do that. That quantitism spirit has helped a lot of us not succeed. So I'm one person who believes in myself. Because, let me give an example. If I tell you that we want to choose you as a treasurer, then you say, I know me, I eat people's money, so I don't trust myself. Do you think we can trust you? So the first thing is, I trust myself, I've got confidence in my abilities, and trust in God. I know when whatsoever my mind can conceive, it can be achieved. Whoever thought that would have a camera like this one? It's because someone was convinced that this thing can come into reality. So the future is filled with possibilities. One thing that I loved when I landed at Otambo Airport, the first phrase that I saw, it says, "Welcome to the land of possibilities." At leaving the extraordinary, something like that. But it made a lot of sense. You see, one of the challenges is because we get challenged by archives of failures of other men, then we inherit them. So if I'm going to fail, I need my own version of failure. But otherwise, when my mind is conceived that this is the direction that I'm going, trust me, to work. There are only two things that I can't do. And there are only two things that are impossible to me. There's one, that which God says no, and that which myself I say no. You can't tell me that this is not possible. Like if I tell you that right now I can leave this room, whether you like it or not, I'll leave. Because that's what I want to do. So what guides how far I can go? I'm only limited by God and myself. First, God and myself. Human beings can't limit me. I don't know. But that is my standard of how persistent I am when I want to do something.
Wow.
Yeah.
So don't let other men's archives
No,
determine.
no, not me. You can allow, but not me.
Thank you so much. Now, another question that I'll ask you is, now someone might really be interested in farming, right? And they tried, but it might seem to not be working. What is your advice for someone that's out there that's an inspiring farmer?
The question is, how many times have they failed?
Okay, excuse the failures. I don't know.
Okay.
Someone is there. He wants to be like you. He wants to be a successful farmer. He's passionate about farming. What advice can you give them?
Okay, so the easiest way to succeed in farming is to learn from those that have succeeded. So they will guide you on what you're supposed to do. They act like mentors. It's like when you want to marry, you don't go to a bachelor to learn how to take care of a wife. You go to a person who has successfully been successful in marriage. They'll give you practical guidelines. Sometimes we go to the wrong people to ask for advice. That is one. Then secondly, don't get into farming ignorantly. You need practical knowledge. You can offer yourself as an intern at a farm that is successful. You get and learn on the ground, because there are certain things you never learn from the theory point of view, but by doing it. It's like, when you read 100 books about riding a bicycle, when we give you a bicycle, you won't ride it. No matter how much you've mastered it. You can matter the know when you do this, but farming is practical. So, and two, you have to actually humble yourself. Sometimes people that are loaded with too much theories think they know. They are going to ask someone, but they are busy talking throughout the whole conversation, sharing what they know. Most of the people that know, when they realize that you've got that kind of a spirit, they just keep quiet and let you go afterwards. You would have learned nothing. So when you go to learn from someone who has succeeded, for them to succeed, meaning they know what you don't know. So when you go there, it is your time to listen. That's why God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. So you have to listen, and they tell you, then you can talk to yourself when you go about what you do. So what am I saying? Many of the times we don't have a listening, and we think we know and we've just read. So reading is one thing, applying is another thing. So when you attach yourself to those people, trust me, you're going to succeed. Yeah. So and even if someone would want to learn about organic farming, you are free to come to Organic Farm 7. And when you come there, you have to follow our formula. We teach you first to do the practical. You learn by doing, not by talking. So I think that is how it has worked for me. I've learned by doing, being practical, applying the principles that I learn, and also learning from others. Even the people that I would go to learn how to grow tomato from someone who didn't go to school, but has been growing tomatoes for 10 years. So I go and sit at their feet. They give me practical advice. What they have gathered in 10 years, they give me in an hour. Then I go and apply those things, and I succeed.
Wow. So I'm seeing an element of you need to humble yourself.
Too much.
Realize that you don't know everything, and someone out there has something to teach you. Even though you have succeeded in other things, you do not know everything. Humble yourself and ask for advice.
Very true.
Wow. Mr. Radical Farmer, are your services only found in Zambia?
At the moment, no. Like I can go anywhere where they need me. Like I came here to South Africa. So whenever there is need, I work. I can go there. If it can be done online, there's no problem. If there's need of me going on the ground, I have to get on the ground. Like I came here on the ground, but actually it works more best when I'm on the ground, because I'm able to understand. Like I've been learning a lot from Mr. Chris on what works here and what doesn't work there. So then combining my knowledge and what he knows on the ground, then I'm in better position to offer a better solution. Yes, so there are situations where I need to be there, and there are situations that I don't have to be there. But Farm 7 is a global company. We can go even to help America, we can go to help India, anywhere in the world, as long as there are people that need our services.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, someone, might be in America or in India. How can they get hold of you? What are your platforms where people can get hold of you?
So you can check our website, it's organicfarm7.com. Then on Facebook, you can just search for Radical Farmer. Contact details are there. There's a team that actually handles all the contacts and the communication that happens with our business. Then if something needs my attention, then I'm going to attend it, then I'm going to address it.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Radical Farmer, for this inspiring testimony. And truly we have seen that God is able to take you out of nowhere and make you someone that is great, and for the purpose of reveal himself to the rest of the world. And I'm so grateful for how the Lord has led you thus far. And I believe that the Lord is still leading in your life, and you're still going to reach many milestones if you remain faithful to God. So thank you so much for your testimony, sir. And I hope you are blessed, and we'll see you next time with another testimony. Goodbye.